Emma had spent 3 months helping plan her younger sister Olivia's dream wedding. She folded invitations, arranged flowers, answered late-night phone calls, and even used her savings to cover expenses Olivia insisted she would repay later. "You're the best sister anyone could ask for," Olivia always said with a smile. Emma believed every word. She ignored the whispers from relatives asking why she was still single at 32. She laughed off jokes about being the family helper. She convinced herself that love would find her when the time was right. The wedding arrived on a warm Saturday afternoon. The vineyard looked magical. White roses lined the aisle, soft music floated through the air, and hundreds of guests admired the beautiful decorations. Emma wore a simple navy blue dress. Nothing flashy, she never wanted to outshine the bride. As guests took their seats, she searched for her boyfriend, Jason. He had promised to meet her there. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Finally, her phone buzzed. "I can't do this anymore. You're wonderful, but we're going in different directions. Don't call me." That was it. One text. 3 years together ended in a single message. Emma stared at the screen while laughter echoed around her. She couldn't breathe. She slipped behind the reception hall, tears streaming down her face. "Some timing," she whispered bitterly. "Sometimes terrible timing saves us from even worse futures." She turned. An older gentleman stood nearby holding 2 glasses of sparkling water. He wore a tailored charcoal suit, but there was nothing flashy about him. His kind eyes carried the calm confidence of someone who had seen life's storms. "I'm sorry," Emma said, embarrassed. "I didn't mean to make a scene." "You're not." He handed her a glass. "Heartbreak deserves honesty, not embarrassment." She managed a weak smile. "My boyfriend just left me. Then he gave someone else the opportunity to find you." Emma laughed softly. "That's an optimistic way to see disaster." "I'm Daniel." "Emma." They returned to the reception separately. Emma assumed she'd never see him again. After dinner, the DJ invited everyone onto the dance floor. Couples filled the room. Emma stayed seated, pretending to scroll through her phone. Then Daniel appeared beside her. "May I have this dance?" She hesitated. "I haven't smiled all day." "Then let's not aim for smiling." "What should we aim for?" "One peaceful song." She accepted. The music was slow. Daniel wasn't trying to impress anyone. He simply listened. When Emma apologized for stepping on his shoes, he chuckled. Good conversations are worth a few bruised toes. For the first time that day, Emma forgot Jason existed. Guests smiled as they watched them dance. Some assumed Daniel was an uncle. Others thought he was an old family friend. No one recognized him, not even the groom. When the song ended, Daniel thanked her. "No one has ever thanked me after dancing." "They should." He returned to his table without another word. Emma never asked what he did for a living. She didn't think it mattered. The next morning, Olivia called. "You'll never believe what happened." "What?" "The owner of the vineyard personally complimented our wedding." "That's nice." "No, Emma, not just the vineyard. He owns the entire estate, 3 luxury hotels, and half the businesses in the county." Emma shrugged. "Sounds successful." Olivia lowered her voice. "His name is Daniel Harrison." Emma froze. "The man you danced with." "What? He wasn't a guest. He owns the venue." Olivia laughed nervously. "And apparently, everything around it." Emma nearly dropped her coffee. She remembered his quiet suit. His gentle words. His complete lack of arrogance. She had assumed he was simply another wedding guest. Life moved on. Emma returned to work as a librarian. She buried herself in books and tried to heal. Weeks later, a familiar voice interrupted her while she organized a shelf. "I was hoping this library still believed in second chances." She looked up. Daniel, holding a library card application. "You remembered." "I remembered someone who made one peaceful song unforgettable." Emma smiled. "What brings someone like you here?" "I've always loved libraries." He glanced around. "They're one of the few places where people come looking for hope." Over the following months, Daniel visited often. Sometimes he borrowed history books. Sometimes novels. Sometimes he returned books he'd clearly already read years earlier. Emma realized the books weren't why he came. Neither were they why she looked forward to Thursdays. One rainy evening, Daniel asked if she'd join him for dinner. She accepted. The restaurant overlooked a quiet lake. There were no reporters, no luxury cars, no bodyguards, just 2 people talking for hours. Daniel spoke little about business. Instead, he shared stories about losing his wife to illness many years earlier. "I spent years building companies because I didn't know how to rebuild myself." Emma listened quietly. "I forgot how to live. And now," He smiled. I'm learning. Months turned into a year. Daniel never tried to impress Emma with wealth. In fact, she often forgot how successful he was. He volunteered at schools, funded scholarships anonymously, paid hospital bills without revealing his name. Emma discovered most of this through others. Never from him. One afternoon he took her to the vineyard where they first met. The same dance floor still stood. The same lights hung above it. I've been thinking, Daniel said. About that first dance. Emma laughed. I stepped on your foot. Twice. You noticed. I noticed everything. He reached into his pocket. Instead of a velvet box, he pulled out a folded photograph. It showed security camera footage from that wedding night. Two strangers dancing while everyone else celebrated someone else's love story. I asked for this picture because it reminded me that the most important moments are never planned. Then he opened a small ring box. Emma, would you give me another dance? She laughed through tears. And after that, hopefully, the rest of our lives. Yes. Months later, their wedding was held at the same vineyard. The staff insisted on recreating the exact lighting from that unforgettable evening. Instead of an extravagant celebration, Emma requested something simple. Every guest received a handwritten note encouraging them to call someone they loved before leaving. During the reception, the DJ played the same song from Emma and Daniel's first dance. They stepped onto the floor. No fear, no heartbreak, no pretending, just gratitude. Emma leaned against him. You know, she whispered, when Jason left me, I thought my life had fallen apart. Daniel smiled gently. Sometimes the wrong person walks away so the right one has room to walk in. Around them, friends and family applauded. But neither of them noticed. Because the richest thing Daniel had ever owned wasn't his hotels, his businesses, or his estates. It was the trust of the woman who loved him before she knew he owned anything at all. And Emma realized the greatest blessing of that painful wedding day wasn't being abandoned. It was accepting one peaceful dance with a stranger whose greatest treasure had never been his fortune, but the kindness in his heart.